another print disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Of Off Duty from the Wall Street Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. From the front page of Off Duty, we toured New York to find a bar for every World Cup team. 48 reasons why the city preparing for the finals is the best place to watch the tournament. And this is by Sebastian Modak. Every World Cup, New York remembers that is not just a city, but a collection of more than 150 countries that happen to share a subway map. For 39 days, local ethnic communities will make themselves known. Brazilians will pack into a Queen's restaurant where samba dancers provide pre-game entertainment. Spaniards will gather in a 150-year-old social club where longtime members can still get a glass of wine for $4. Argentines will return to the East Village block they shut down in 2022, the day Lionel Messi finally lifted the trophy. Few of the tournament's 16 host cities across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico can match New York's ability to turn the cup into a home game for nearly everyone. 8 matches, including the final, will be played at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. But some of the tournament's most memorable scenes will unfold within the confines of the 5 boroughs alongside fired up fans and over plates of delicious food. 48 nations are playing. Read on for the rooms in and around New York that are waiting for them. All are places that, on match day, will become a little piece of somewhere else. North and Central America, United States, Long Acre Tavern, Smithfield Hall, and the Football Factory at Legends. And these are located in Midtown, Chelsea, and Manhattan. For the first World Cup on American soil in 32 years, the local New York chapter of the American Outlaws, the largest supporter group of the U.S. national teams, has made the spacious, TV-heavy Long Acre Tavern in Times Square its outpost. The Outlaws plan to fill 2 of the bar's 3 floors during the U.S. group stage, with the public welcome throughout. Smithfield Hall, a Chelsea pub with a long wooden bar and walls draped in club flags, also plans to show every match on its 33 screens. The Football Factory at Legends in Midtown is the New York home of 38 supporter clubs spanning leagues across the world, and during big matches, the booming chant and the drums carry from one floor to the next. So if you're a Canadian fan, the Canuck, and you can watch it at Chelsea and in Manhattan. The hunt for official staples like poutine and Labatt often leads homesick Canadians here. Decked out with cultural artifacts, a photo wall features Canadian stars like Martin Short. The Canuck is a reliable place to watch hockey, and for the next few weeks, soccer. For the Curacao fan, Bella Union, found in Murray Hall, Manhattan. Curacao, part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, has qualified for its first ever World Cup, making it the smallest nation ever to do so. Fans will be welcomed at Bella Union, where the NL Club, a Dutch community group, will host watch parties. The fact they got in is something we're very proud of, says Catherine Voss, the club general manager. Haiti at the Rebel, Lower East Side in Manhattan. Expect the energy to ripple for Haiti fans at Rebel, which feels like an oasis among the neighboring dive bars. Order a round of fritters, a rum punch, and a plate of griot, a citrusy pork dish that is slow braised and then fried until crisp. In Mexico, you can go to the Sacaria in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. If your ideal watch party includes tacos within arm's reach, try the brand new Socaria, a cantina with a soccer problem in Greenpoint, or Taco El Bronco in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. Aaron Flores, who runs a group of fans of Tigres, a Mexican club, loves the Playwright, an Irish bar in Midtown. When you have to wear the green, white, and red of Mexico, it always feels different, he says. For Panama, you can go to Michelle's Cocktail Lounge in Flatbush, Brooklyn. Usually, Michelle's Fritura, a fried food pop up connected to this longtime hub of the Panamanian community, is only open Saturdays. Exceptions will be made for every Panama match. Go for the Carmenalos, a crisp yucca fritter stuffed with meat. For South America, Colombia, Ecuador, and Uruguay, go to Jackson Heights, Queens. This Queens neighborhood is often called one of the most diverse places on earth. Step off the 7 train, and languages quickly shift from Nepali and Bengali to Spanish and Tagalog as you walk between blocks. For the next month, expect to hear the chants of the neighborhood's large and varied Latin America communities fill the air. Nowhere is it more true than along a half-mile stretch of 37th Avenue at Barzola, an Ecuadorian bar and restaurant. Manager Alexander Herrera has turned the spacious dining room into a center for sports, with giant TVs lining the walls and special menus on offer whenever Ecuador plays. A few blocks west at La Gran Uriga, celeste and white flags hang from the rafters, and steak prominently is featured on the menu. Another block and a half lands you at Bareilles, decorated in Colombian flags and giant inflatable soccer balls, while salsa blares at stupefying volumes from the speakers. On match days, bars and restaurants alike fill up hours ahead of kickoff. You may find yourself joining the crowds on the sidewalk, balancing on your tiptoes while you peer through open windows at the nearest TV, a snack from a nearby street vendor clutched in your hand. But that's kind of the point. Argentina, Buenos Aires, you'll find at the East Village, Manhattan. Ismaili Alba moved to New York from Buenos Aires nearly 50 years ago and opened this restaurant in 2006. They all came out to dance on the street, Alba recalled, of the day Argentina won the 2022 World Cup, and streets around the restaurant closed to traffic. Alba has cooked for Pope Francis, but he is most excited when talking about Lionel Messi, who is likely playing his last World Cup. He is a very humble person. Reservations and a minimum spent per seat are required for the Argentina games. For Brazil, you have Baja Flores, which is a Long Island city in Queens. Brazil's opening match against Morocco is at MetLife, but Lucia Cruz will be watching along with a crowd in canary yellow at her restaurant. A samba dancer in full carnival dress will hype up the crowd before every game, and the drinks will flow freely. It's Brazil here in New York, Cruz says. Paraguay. I love Paraguay, and you can find it at Sunnyside in Queens. Paraguay's World Cup opener against the U.S. will make for a tense evening in this cozy, family-run restaurant. Thankfully, we'll find plenty of grilled beef and ice-cold Pilsner brewed for the restaurant to smooth things over. So if you're fans from Europe, in Spain, you can go to La Nacional in Chelsea, Manhattan. The Spanish Benevolent Society, founded in 1868 to help Spanish immigrants settle in New York, opened La Nacional on 14th Street in 1925 to serve as a kitchen, a meeting place, and a soft landing for new arrivals. Robert Sanfis, the executive director, can bookmark his tenure with sporting achievements. He joined as a pro bono attorney right before the 2008 UEFA Euro tournament. He remembers July 11, 2010, the night Spain won its first ever World Cup, when lines of fans extended both down ends of 14th Street. Older La Nacional members were in tears, and the air conditioning struggled to keep up with the crowd. Spaniards often think regionally before they think nationally. There's Basque, there's Catalan, that one day you might feel like everybody for a moment forgot. The restaurant is volunteer run, and the oldest members will pay original prices like $4 for a glass of wine. Indoor seating is reserved at $25 a head, while the outdoor courtyard is first come, first served. Keep an eye out for David Villa, a star of Spain's winning 2010 team, who keeps an office upstairs. For Austria, you go to the Cafe Cacha, Lower East Manhattan. Cafe Cacha served elevated Austrian fare in an elegant setting, might seem like an unexpected place for overflow crowds. The whole, the whole street will be closed so everyone can watch outside. Owner Erdwin said, and enjoys copious Jagger schnitzel, warm pretzels, and ice cold Gruner. For Belgium, you go to the Café Andres in East Harlem, Manhattan. The couple, Jones, a Brazilian, and Donal, a Belgian, run a cluster of restaurants on the corner of 100th Street and Lexington Avenue, including Café Adverts, a Belgian bistro with a long beer list. Belgian and Brazil games will be shown on a screen set up outside, which presents a small problem of shifting alliances at home. We have two boys, and they're always switching which direction they're going, the owner said. For Bosnia and Herzegovina, you go to UPAS, which is in Astoria, Queens, specializing in flaky burek and savory sapai, a grilled meat dish. Eunice isn't a traditional sports bar, but that's part of the fun. Home to several expat communities, Astoria will be crackling during the World Cup as Bosnia and Herzegovina attempts an underdog run. The crowd at the small family-run spot will make up in intensity with when it lacks in size. From Croatia, you can go to the Hutch, and that is also in Astoria, Queens. Astoria is a home to a large Croatian community, and their fans fill two watering holes in particular. Hutch, a small, low-lit bar, and Daly's, an Irish pub that goes temporarily Croatian. For the Czech Republic, you can go to the Bohemian Hall and Beer Garden, and again in Astoria, Queens. Originally founded by the Bohemian Citizens Benevolent Society of Astoria in 1910, today this match day favorite comes equipped with outdoor picnic tables for groups, giant televisions, pilsners on tap, warm pretzels, and old world charm. England, you can go to the Monroe Pub in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Most days, the Monroe is a Liverpool Football Club bar. Now owners Vinnie Evans and his wife Nicole Fascu Evans are temporarily taking down some of the red and white decor and placing it with global flags. It's like the United Nations here right now, Evans said. Everyone's welcome, but the England contingent is likely to be the strongest. For the France followers, Bar Tabac in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn. At Bar Tabac, the last World Cup final ended with several blocks of Smith Street closed to traffic and not a drop left in the cellar. 2 bars outside, we had no more beer, no more wine, owner George recalled. In Germany, you can go to the Zum Stammtisch in Glendale, Queens. Co-owner Hans Wiener still remembers the crowds at this Bavarian restaurant when Mario Götze scored the extra time winner in the 2014 final. They were shoulder to shoulder, bellies to backs, he said. I thought the whole place was going to fall down. Expect giant screens, excellent lager, cowbells, and free food at halftime. For the Netherlands backers, you can go to Bella Union in Murray Hill, Manhattan. For the World Cup, the NL Club takes over all 3 floors of this bar, turning the room orange. The entire bar shakes, Catherine says. The Bitten will be on menu. Jennifer at the bar. For Norway, you can go to Caben, which is located in Soho, Manhattan. Norway hasn't qualified for a World Cup since 1998. So for many Norwegians, this feels like a once in a generation moment, says Alexandra Tegan, owner of Caben, a sleek Nordic cocktail bar. A special seafood menu will be offered along with free shots whenever Norway or Sweden finds the back of the net. Backers of Portugal, you can go to Raiz Greenpoint in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. This summer is almost certainly Cristiano Ronaldo's last World Cup, and Lucia Corba, who runs this Portuguese restaurant, can barely talk about it without crying. He's a true Portuguese. He's a true footballer, she says. Match days can get a little chaotic in Corba's world, but you'll be rewarded with high energy and delicious Arzonian inflected seafood. Scotland, you can go to the Iona Bar in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. The Tartan Army, a Scotland devoted fans are known, are electrified by the country's first World Cup in 28 years. Iona's 3 owners have split loyalties between Scotland and Ireland, but with the latter out of the tournament, we will be supporting Scotland, says co-owner Victor Boyd. Sweden, you can go to the Magic Hour rooftop in the beach at Dream Downtown, and they're located in Midtown and Chelsea, Manhattan. Tile Group Hospitality will be hosting Swedish fans at multiple venues. The first 2 match on Times Square rooftop and the third poolside at the Dream Downtown Hotel. Midsummer Day, a celebration of the summer solstice in Sweden, lands on June 20th, the same day Sweden takes on the Netherlands. At the full-time whistle, follow the crowds from Magic Hour rooftop to Rockefeller Park, where a celebration is planned. And to the backers of Switzerland, go to the Lavu in West Village, Manhattan. Don't be fooled by any air of propriety at the Lavu, a Tony Swiss wine bar in West Village. It will be showing every match on 2 new projectors, even as it shuttles Blintz, Cuteria, and yes, even fondue to the hungry crowd. For Turkey, you can go to Akdeniz in Midtown Manhattan. Akdeniz, a Turkish for Mediterranean Sea, is a rolling out the red carpet for the games by rolling in televisions. The menu leans heavily towards seafood, but don't overlook terrestrial specialties like the lamb-based Iskander and filet mignon shish kebabs to pair with your crisp beer, or if you're feeling extra celebratory, your Turkish Rocky. So if you're African fans, for Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Senegal, go to Harlem, Manhattan. Harlem, from La Petite Senegal to Stravers Row, has long hosted a West African diaspora that, not surprisingly, also produces some of the country's best West African food. And amble through the neighborhood showcases a variety of places, often packed with locals, tourists, cabbies, and third shift workers. The always bustling neighborhood will turn up a notch when Ghanaians, Ivorosians, Lenegese gather over Jola's rice tart bishap drinks made from hibiscus flowers and rich, shareable lamb and seafood dishes. You won't want for options, but popular spots that will be sporting their colors and screening the games include Akara Express for Ghana, La Savane Afrique for the Ivory Coast, and Ponte Bistro for Senegal. Algeria, you can go to the Simple Cafe in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Chef Sami Behay will transform her sun drenched French Algerian restaurant into a football cafe with matching screenings and a snackable menu. France and Algeria may draw the biggest crowds, but Behay hopes to meet fans from across the world. We expect a mix of community, she says, which feels very much in the spirit of New York. Cape Verde, you can go to September, and it's at the best Bedford Stuyvesant in Brooklyn. This all-day cafe and bakery with an art gallery across the street already has the makings of a community hub. For the games, the Cape Verdean owner, Sarah Lopes, will be hosting watch parties and cooking up specialties like duck and smoked sausage. The Democratic Republic of Congo. You can get it at the Berber Street Food, and it's at South Street Seaport in Manhattan. Diana Tandi, the Mauritanian Senegalese chef and owner of the Berber Street Food, a pan African food stall at the Hungry Pearl Food Hall, isn't picking sides. Her goal is to use the tournament to show people the different food and culture of Africa, she says. Tandea will be serving a specialty dish for every African country at the Cup. For Congo Games, it's the Leopard Mombe Bowl, which combines palm nut braised chicken, a jollof of rice, and cassava leaves. Egypt, you can go to the Zikarat restaurant and lounge in Astoria, Queens. On Steinway Street, also known as Little Egypt, you'll have your pick of restaurants, hookah lounges, and cafes that will be packed every time the Pharaohs take the pitch. But a good bet is the Zechariah, which will be showing the games on five big screen TVs and offering food and hookah specials for the duration. For Morocco, you can go to the Moroccan Bites by Shaham in Astoria, Queens. Expecting a spike in demand, this tailgate specialties will be going reservation only when Morocco takes to the pitch. A $34.99 set includes your choice of puff pastry turnovers, meat pies, and smoked chicken. For South Africa, you can go to Kaya which is located in Upper East Side Manhattan. Kaya makes its distinctions as one of the only places in the region to get South African food seriously. On its menu are wines from Stabolish delicacies like bobatai, a sweet and savory casserole, and creation fusion dishes like oxtail tacos. For games, the kitchen is entertaining the possibility of hosting a bara, a traditional South African barbecue hang. For Tunisia, you can go to the Bin 141 in East Village, Manhattan. The chef who grew up on his family's olive farm in Tunisia is known for melding traditional fares like merguez, and stuffed grape leaves with a range of burgers, salads, and classic cocktails. An emphasis on vegan and vegetarian options imparts a take all comers vibe in line with the neighborhood and the cup. If you're fans of Asia and Oceania and South Korea, you can go to Miju. It's located in Long Island City, Queens. If you want to catch Han Sung Min and company on the pitch, you can have your pick of Korean bars in Manhattan's K-Town or across the George Washington Bridge in Fort Lee, New Jersey. But perhaps you prefer your soccer with a seat and a craft cocktail. I'm 53. Maybe 12 years ago, I'd be okay standing up in K Town Bar, says Hum Ki, chef owner of the Michelin star restaurant Mijou. I don't want to party with 22-year-olds who have much more energy than me. Kim's solution: installing a very large TV and throwing a little watch party for adults in the confines of his restaurant. $100 ticket comes with unlimited snacks, including fried chicken, a staple of Korean soccer viewing. I used to watch the World Cup with family and friends, but it really is better when you're with a bunch of strangers you have met for the first time, Kim says. For Australia and New Zealand, you go to the Old Mates Pub, and that is located in South Street, Seaport, Manhattan. When it comes time to design Old Mates Pub, Australian co-founder Andy and Nick Stone of the Blue Stone Lanes Cafe, along with partners that included Hugh Jackson, sent in photos of their favorite watering holes back home. The menu includes meat pies, sausage rolls, and barramundi. Reservations are a must for Australian games, and Kiwi fans are welcome to make the bar their own too. Australia, New Zealand, we have that brotherly banter, Andy Stone says. For Iran, you can go to Perselois, East Side, Manhattan. Iran has qualified for a cup at a difficult moment for its diaspora. It's hard to put your heart into soccer, says Ali Sabor, the Iranian restaurateur behind Eval in Bushwick, Brooklyn. What can we believe in these days? His establishment won't screen the matches, but Persolis is on Upper East Side. For Iraq, you can go to the El Mesque restaurant and bakery, and that is Patterson. That's located in Patterson, New Jersey. For a true Iraqi experience as the country plays in its first cup in 40 years, take a quick ride across the river to Patterson, New Jersey, home of one of the largest Arab American communities in the country. The family run the family run El Mesque not only serves top tier dolmas and kebab, but also hand stretched Iraqi bread. For the people who are interested in Jordan, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, backing dedicated spots to watch, fans of these three nations can turn to a large, loud soccer bar. At the Football Factory at Legends in Midtown, owner Emmett Kean is happy to host any fans. Smithfield Hall will be big on U.S. games, but with 33 screens, it will also attract other contingents throughout the tournament. For the Japan fan, go to the Playwright in Midtown Manhattan. In a city full of sake bars and iskases, an Irish pub in Midtown may seem an unlikely place to run into a pack of Japanese fans. But Shogo Yamamoto, who helps manage FC Japan, a New York soccer club where he plays winger, said that since the 2022 Cup, this has become a go-to spot for the Samurai Blue. For Uzbekistan, can go to Samarkand Nights, which is in Mill Basin, Brooklyn, with its platters of grease-slick meat and rice dish and fluffy baked samba, which is a savory pastry, just beginning to ripple. in pieces by many hands. Uzbek cuisine lends itself to big group gatherings. Take your pick of restaurants spread across the outer boroughs, but Nights is a wise place to stop. Enjoy the games. You have been listening to the reading of articles and features from Off Duty from the Wall Street Journal on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. From the Life and Style page, 15 gifts for every dad in your life. Each dad has his thing. These Father's Day gifts will show you that yours will appreciate what makes him special. And this is by Rachel Basser Perry. Father's Day gifts are easy to shop for when you start thinking about what makes a dad tick. Whether he's a grill master, a Sunday painter, or a power tie connoisseur, a gift that celebrates who dad is or what he loves is sure to delight him. Here are 15 gifts tailored to all sorts of taste. If he thinks he's a top chef, a dad who dreams of a Michelin star will appreciate an 8-piece set of grilling tools for his barbecue setup. And you can get this at Williams Sonoma at the barbecue tools set of 8, and it's $180. If he has a getting ready routine, a travel set of marbled beard and mustache combs that is as handsome as Dad himself. And it's a beard and mustache set, and you can get it for $90. If he yammers about writing a novel, the smart typewriter lacks the distractions of a laptop, like a way to check Facebook and can send Dad's drafts to the cloud, where he can access them wirelessly from other devices. And it's called the Free Write Smart Typewriter, and it is a little pricey at $699. If he's a Sunday painter, a sleek leather roll case for his brush collection, so it's at ready when inspiration strikes. And it's a leatherology paintbrush roll, um, leather selection that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 little pouches for all his brushes, and then it has a nice tie when it's rolled up, and it sells for $55. If he treats the backyard like a private club, Dad will love whipping out this compact leather cigar case when he wants to offer one of his prized Cubans to a guest. And that is the Toomey cigar case, and it sells for $250. If he's happiest in nature, get him some waterproof hiking boots to help him tackle the next trail. And it's by Timberlake, and they're waterproof hiking boots, and they sell for $130. If he loves friendly competition, a Lux gaming set that Dad can whip out to impress his poker buddies before they clean him out. That is very pricey at $8,000. If he's a gentleman gardener, expert crafted clippers for his Saturday morning ritual of shaping hedges and deadheading blooms. And it's the Milwaukee Pro Topiary clips, and they sell for $238 at Garden Hire. If he could use a watch, a wrist upgrade never hurts, especially if he's the type who doesn't always run like clockwork. This piece looks substantial and is deceptively affordable, and it's the Timex Deepwater Arctic watch, and it sells for $299. If he loves a power tie, update his selection of 1980 ties with a slimmer but no less punchy style from Drake's. And the Drake Rust Tumbled Tile Print Silk Tie for $275. If he's always has somewhere to go, a travel steamer can help him stay crease-free on every adventure, and it costs $130, and it's called a Steamery Citrus Light Travel Steamer. If he tracks his sleep score, Featuring a built-in biometric sensor based on heart rate, these blackout sleep goggles are meant to help relax even the most hairy dad. And it's the Therabody Smart Goggles, and they sell for $220. If he prefers a non-briefcase, a sleek leather carry-all that's equal parts office bag, travel kit, and a supply closet. And you get it at the Buck Mason Italian leather carry-all tote, and it sells for $598. If he has a custom tailor made to his measurements, this bespoke t-shirt transforms a wardrobe staple into something exceptional. And it's a son of a tailor cotton t-shirt bundle, and you get 3 shirts for $300. If he wants to be remembered, a cologne that notes of violet, oud, and cinnamon ensures he will leave a lasting impression long after he's left the room. And you get that at Maison Francis Oud Satin Mood de Parfum, and it sells for $340. Best of luck shopping for your dad. Father's Day is June 21st. Another life and style. I tried every pool in New York's most extravagant new spa. There are 5 at the FINA, New York's 17,000 square foot wellness center, along with 4 saunas, art installations, and a giant shea butter wheel. And this is by Lauren Mitchell. At the first paying customer to visit the palatial Tierra Santa Healing House that just opened in the cellar of the Fauno, New York Hotel, and it's spelled FAENA Hotel. I felt duty bound to try each one of its 4 saunas and 5 plunge pools. Featuring varying temperatures and salinity levels, the pools are arranged in a grid in the center of the water room, recalling the layout of the board game Clue. Argentine home lifestyle impresiono Alan Final opened his namesake New York hotel last year in the bottom of a torqued high rise by Danish architect in Manhattan's Chelsea neighborhood. It shares the operate maximalism of the Fenes Hotel in Buenos Aires and Miami, and has drawn glitzy guests who pay at least $1,395 for a room. Forthcoming amenities include a speakeasy with lots of low-slung seating and a cabaret-styled theater. But first, a truly colossal spa. The original Tierra Santo Spa is a beach-facing open-air space on the 3rd floor of the Fenes Miami Hotel. It was named after the home in coastal Uruguay where Fene 62 lived in 1990s and visits every year. The subterranean Manhattan version is 17,000 square feet, a massive footprint in a famously cramped city, with wavy walls covered in tiles the same green shade as a Swedish princess cake. Representatives for the hotel declined to disclose how much it cost to build the spa, describing it only as a substantial investment. They have billed it as one of the largest wellness centers in New York City. On the day I visited in early June, before it opened to the public, I was the only person there, making its vastness even more pronounced. The Wellness Center has 8 private treatment rooms, a state-of-the-art gym, a mirrored red light fitness studio, and the water room, which is big enough to hold a rave. But in the interest of inner and outer peace, it's limited to 20 people. Admission is free for hotel guests or included with spa treatments, which range from $295 green peel facial to a 2-hour ritual de amor couples massage for $1,400. Tierra Santa is a far cry from the biomarker readings and recovery chambers that dominates New York's luxury wellness scene. Instead, it feels like art therapy. A textile installation of colorful ribbons by the Argentine artist Manuel hangs from the ceilings of the long corridors and the reception areas. Two opposing walls in the water room feature murals from the Argentine artist Juan Gatti, a longtime FINA collaborator who has likened their relationship to that of a Renaissance artist and a Medici nobleman. Fine, who dresses mostly in white suits, believes these artworks play a role in the Tiara Santa experience. It's on us to select the pieces that you need on this white canvas to make your life more meaningful, he says. Walking through the space, I passed between the steam room and the saunas of the traditional vapor and infrared variety. What looked like a jumbo Parisian wheel resting on a marble slab by the door of the Moroccan style Hayman was actually a block of shea butter soap. I merrily scraped up some shavings as I entered the heated chamber to lie on a hexagon of black marble streaked with blue stone, which is topped with a mosaic inlay of a rose, a central motif in the Fian lore. Fian told me that the rose is a callback to his days in Uruguay. He was in his early 30s, decompressing from a decade running a fashion label Via Via, and spent his days tending to his rose garden and hosting friends, artists, musicians, and designers at the home he called Tierra Santa. They put on concerts, made art, and stayed up late talking and dancing, infusing his home with the spirit of hospitality that would dictate his future ventures. Ina recalled that when he was developing his Buenos Aires hotel, which is inside a building designed by the French architect Philippe Strack, he sent Strack pictures of his Uruguayan paradise, the flowers, the dog, my girlfriend singing to the ocean, Rene says. He hired Agustin Caminos to come on as the director of the Fine Spa in Buenos Aires and later the Tierra Santa Spa at his hotel in Miami. When I told him that I was on a mission to help elevate human consciousness, he was very insistent that I work with him, recalled Camayos, an Argentine energy healer. Being a deeply enlightened and attuned individual, she offers up her age before I can ask. She's 53. The spa program for the New York hotel is based on the treatment menu she helped create for the spa in Miami, which Faina says generated more than $10 million in revenue last year. Caminos's passion is healing energy work. On my recent visit, I booked a 45-minute session where I could sample some of the offerings she is bringing to New York. She leads Kakoa ceremonies, sound baths, and energy work sessions. Her signature massage that incorporates her shamanic rituals costs $750. My treatment started with a guided meditation, during which I focused on a beautiful moment of the recent past, a group hug with my family, while I sipped a hot beverage made from ceremonial grade cocoa, oat milk, and dates. Camillos plays percussion and windwood instruments as I meditated, moving them from one side of my head to the other. She also broke out crystals and wands. This one is very powerful, she told me before the session, holding up a translucent stick that she says she uses to cut unhealthy attachments. It has 200 times the capability of the energy work I can do with my hands. What Camille can do with her hands, massage wise, is quite extraordinary. First, she paws around like a cat who wants some attention. Then she targets the tight spots, her fingers moving in piano players like motions. Afterwards, I sat in the waiting area and enjoyed a cold turmeric citrus juice. Its bright orange shade looks almost neon against the roses bursting from the carpet and wallpaper. Every inch of this underworld customs collaborated for a bindingful, colorful ride. From the off duty travel page, Europe is too crowded. Wealthy travelers are taking to the sea. New yachts by Ritz Carlton, Four Seasons, and Amman are drawing travelers who want Mediterranean glamour without the packed beaches and skirmishes for dinner reservations. And this is by Caroline Tell. When Kim Pottenberg's daughter graduated from college last summer, she decided to take her on a 9-night Ritz Carlton yacht trip from Amsterdam to Lisbon. Anything, Petra said, to avoid the crowd she had experienced the summer before. We couldn't even walk down the street in Santorini because there were so many people, Kim said, who is a retired obstetrician gynecologist based in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was so claustrophobic and overwhelming. Now, whatever it takes to be able to do things with a smaller group of people is so much better. The irony is that the ships once helped create the very problem Kim and other travelers are now desperate to avoid. For years, big cruise ships funneled crowds into destinations like Venice and Barcelona, fueling over tourism concerns and prompting officials to impose restrictions on cruise traffic, ship size, and visitor volume. Rather than defaulting to the usual beachfront hotels, savvy summer travelers to Europe are turning to a new generation of yachts from ultra luxury brands like Ritz Carlson, Four Seasons, and Aman. For some, being at sea is only one part of the appeal. The right ship can also provide an escape from the masses. If there's a theme I'm hearing from travelers in 2026, it's friction, says Brian Kelly, founder of A Points Guide. On a yacht, you can move between destinations without worrying about logistics. Book a villa on land and you're fighting for a crowded restaurant, packed beach clubs, especially in peak season, Kelly said. Kayleen Bazroon, a New York-based travel advisor with Pro Travel International, has booked multiple clients on hotel-branded yachts this summer. She thinks of her customers as the type who have spent multiple summers at the Hotel de Eden Rock in Antibes, France, where some of her customers were waitlisted this year. Others opt out of staying on the French Riviera entirely, telling Bassoon they were tired of the scene, she added. Luxury now isn't just where you're traveling, but how effortless your experiencing is, Bassoon said. With these ships, you can wake up in St. Topaz, have lunch at Club 55 without battling traffic in and out of town. The next day, you're in Porto Cerveo, Sardinia, without packing your bags. This year, Addie Bell Zakin and Brandon Zakin, founders of luxury travel advisor Jet Set and Travel, have booked close to 20 sailings for clients on the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, launched in 2022. Those clients range from young couples to multi-generational families, Zakin said, but everyone is driven to book by a combination of aspiration and frustration. We sent an ultra high net worth client to the Amalfi Coast last year, and he came back and said, "Never send me there again. It was way too crowded." Brandon Zekin says that was an eye opening for us. Access and ease. On the Ritz Carlton yacht, Ermia, Alma, and Lumara, which run itineraries through the French and Italian Rivieras, Greek Isles, and the Dalmatian coast. A dedication in-house concierge team plans passengers' day on shore by the minute so they don't have to wait in line or battle traffic. Private drivers wait at the pier to shuttle guests to snorkeling trips, cooking classes, or even helicopter charters. Itineraries on Seabourn, one of the earliest players in the luxury cruise scene, offer guests a way to bypass peak crowds entirely. A trip that stops in Turkey includes an after hours visit to the ruins for the classical music concert where the site is otherwise closed to the public. Another day, guests can join a private wine tasting and dinner at the vineyard in Bodrum. Other cruises operators like Explorer Journeys steers travelers towards lesser known ports as in Corsica and in Greece. Trading accommodations on land for itineraries at sea isn't entirely without compromise. Travelers gain convenience and access, but may sacrifice some spontaneity in the process. Cruise trips are largely fixed months in advance, so there's little room for improvisation. Exclusivity also comes at a cost. A European voyage on a Ritz-Carlton ship can range for $6,800 per person for 4 nights in a standard room to nearly $90,000 for 11 nights in the highest end suites. Those rates include most meals and drinks on board. The Four Seasons Yacht Number One, which runs routes sailing the Greek Isles and the Ionian and Dalmatian coast, and the Australian Riviera starts at 31,000 per double occupancy standard suite for 7 nights. When Amen at Sea debuts its 94 passenger yacht next May, rates will start at $10,500 per suite per night, based on double occupancy. Still, when looking at peak season prices in Europe, some see a bargain. A double room at the La Sinara, a hotel in Posanto in July, can reach $4,000 a night before a single Negrari is added to the tab. On the Ritz-Carlton Ilmar, where Kim loved the unlimited champagne, attentive staff, and lobster dinners, some of her favorite moments were the quietest one. Morning coffee, reading on her balcony, and long stretches when the ship felt nearly empty despite being out and fully occupied. She always found space to spread out, and when a destination looked too crowded, she appreciates having the opportunity to simply stay on board. I remember sitting in a cafe in Bordeaux and seeing a guide with an umbrella and this huge herd of people following behind, Kim said. I thought, goodness, I would never want to do that. Yachting by the numbers. On a new breed of hotel brand luxury yachts, prices can rival some of those world's most exclusive resorts, but so can the level of access. Here are some of the newest players sailing Asia, the Mediterranean, and beyond. You can go to the Ritz-Carlton Luminara, which is 794 feet long. It has 226 suites. It has 452 passengers, and it ranges from 8,800 per person, double occupancy, 5 nights in the terrace suite, to 136,000 for 14 nights in the owner's suite. There is the Amangati, which is 600 feet in length, 47 suites, 94 passengers, and it's for $10,500 per night. And it goes from Cairns to Costa Rica. I forgot to tell you that the Ritz-Carlton Luminara goes from Vancouver to Tokyo. Now for the Four Seasons number one, it's 679 feet long. It has 95 suites and it can list 222 passengers. And it's for $31,000 double occupancy for 7 nights to $350,000, and for 6 people for 7 nights. And its longest itinerary is up to 21 days by combining multiple voyages. You've been listening to the reading of articles and features from Saturday, Sunday, June 13th, 14th issue of Off Duty from the Wall Street Journal. We read from Off Duty every Saturday at 8 p.m. now. Your reader has been Patricia Mary. Thank you for listening. God bless and be safe out there.
Coming up next on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have Sports Illustrated. At 10 o'clock, we have the Athletic, and at 11 o'clock, we have episode number 23 of King Sorrow by Joe Hill. Stay with us for these readings and more. following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability.